should. Yes.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And you, they're still looking.
Grant? You have a public hearing tonight, so I'll have the town clerk read the notice.
Please take notice that a public hearing will be held by the town board of the town of Farmington on the 27th of January, 2026 at 7 p.m. at the Farmington Town Hall, 1000 County Road 8, Farmington, New York, regarding the adoption of a local law which would permit the town board to adopt the budget for the 2027 fiscal year that requires a real property tax levy in excess of the amount otherwise prescribed in General Municipal Law, Section 3C. Any person shall be entitled to be heard upon said proposed local law at such public hearing. Copies of said proposed local law are available for review at the town of Farmington Town Hall, 1000 County Road 8, Farmington, New York. This by resolution of the town board of the town of Farmington.
Thank you, Michelle. So you heard it right. This is for the 2027 budget that we won't even start until the July, August timeframe. And this resolution is because of a New York State law in 2011 that came with all the information for overriding the tax cap limit, and then on the amount of taxes you collect. We just do it normally. We do it before the next year's budget, and it's out of the way. It's forgotten. If we're under the tax cap, it doesn't matter. We don't have to rescind it. If we're over the tax cap, then we're covered by it. This time, anybody have any questions? Anybody online? Questions? Staff or town board? All right, I'll close the public hearing. Thank you. Next is we have approval of the minutes for the organizational meeting and the town board regular meeting on January 13th.
Second.
Nate, second by Ron. Any comments, corrections? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Privilege of the floor or public concerns? Any privilege of the floor or public concerns? Anybody online? Privilege of the floor or public concerns? Okay, we'll go to standing committee, Public Works.
All right, I will start with water and sewer. They are currently using the flusher truck to clean scum sludge from outer race of south clarifier. New bearings for the BFP have been installed, quoting additional bearing assemblies for spare parts stock. BFP sludge feed gearbox has been replaced. Continue sludge hauling 2 times a day, 2 times per week. Hauling next on the 28th and 9th of January. They're continuing to work with Frogger Wildlife Consultants to continue rodent control, checking traps monthly. They're working on flushing the biotower number 3, or flush of the biotower number 3 has been completed. And biotower 1, pump 2 needs to be rebuilt. Pump station routine maintenance and repair is ongoing. Snow removal, salting, pump stations, driveways, parking areas as needed. And blower fans, fan blades are being replaced on heater at pump station 20. They're coordinating with Schuler Haas for installation of a new 120 volt breaker for block heaters and battery trickle chargers at pump station 12, pump station 16, and pump station 17. They are continuing to work with vendors on quoting a replacement classifier for grit removal systems on the south side of the influent building. Currently have 2 quotes for approximately $125,000 each. And they are currently working on, or currently maintaining multiple water main breaks. There was a water main break at 6140 Doe Haven Drive on 613. It's the third time that Water and Sewer has performed repairs in that location.
Stop you right there.
Absolutely.
Ron and I met the resident at 6140 tonight at Prosecco's, and she just wanted to pass on how great the crew was and that you explained everything to her. And
Yeah,
just wants to say thank you.
that's great. Gail was very nice and accommodating to us.
Yep.
Appreciate that.
Afterwards, I'll tell you what she really said.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've probably heard that before too.
They are continuing to haul scrap steel from the RBC demolition. Recently, there was an overnight call out on the 15th of January for shut off water at the buildings in Colette Woods Apartments on Silver Birch Drive. Staff continue to address NYMER's items from fall 2025 facilities walkthrough, including no parking signs at the ODH or OHD and flame arresters on the oxyacetylene torch. And in addition, there were water main breaks on January 17th at PS Pump Station 1 on Route 96 and a water main break on January 20th in Tops driveway. January 21st, there was a water main break on County Road 8. Staff are conducting hydrant water flow tests on Parkside Drive and Fairdale Glen. And they are continuing to replace frozen and broken, or they replace frozen and broken water meters at 5055 North Road on January 20th. On the highway, the highway department continues their regular equipment maintenance. Truck number 2 went to International in Henrietta to get the exhaust filter worked on under warranty. Truck 6 got towed to Thruway Springs in Rochester on Monday, the 26th, to replace leaf spring suspensions that broke. Plowing and salting of roads continues as needed. Plowing sidewalks when time allows. Adjusting plow stakes, fixing mailboxes, all of the fun stuff that comes along with plowing this time of year. On to parks. Parks continues to plowing and salting parking lots, plowing and salting sidewalks at the buildings, and working on the heat at Town Hall. They're currently waiting for parts and repair on the sink at the Highway Department for the lock. All I have.
Great. Thanks, Matt.
Yep.
I take a, quick moment here. I mentioned it in Public Works. I've checked the cameras and our parks and highway guys doing a great job, especially with this big storm. I had 0 complaints to me on a phone or social media with the job that our employees are doing. So congratulations to departments in that case. On operations.
Okay. Town operations met this morning. So first, an update on the Farmington Meadows Incentive Zoning Project. The project notification review letters, the seeker response forms, and project-related documents were distributed to the involved and interested agencies last Thursday. There are 7 involved agencies and 7 interested agencies, and their comments are due by noon on Friday, February the 20th. The Fish Property Solar Farm update. The town development finally received the electronic documents from the applicant's engineers, and they are now waiting for a set of paper documents to come so they can start reviewing them. The Farmington Fire Station project. Let's see, last Friday afternoon, the Town Development Office received applications for a special use permit, preliminary site plan approval for the proposed expansion to the fire station on Hook Road. Staff have been provided copies for their initial review, and hopefully the Town Planning Board will see those in February. The town is also preparing a revised grant application for the public infrastructure grant. The application involves redirecting sewer flows away from a section of the public sewer line along the south side of State Route 96 between Finger Lakes, I always call it the Racino. Well, the Finger Lakes Racino and the Farmington Victortown line to the trunk sewer line located south of Route 96. And the deadline for that is February 12th. The town ops report has been posted. The Town Environmental Conservation Board met and started going over the seeker packet for Farmington Meadows incentive zoning. Their next meeting is February the 23rd. And the Agricultural Advisory, they're waiting on receipt of the 2 pending solar applications and a request for assistance from the Town Code Enforcement Officer on an interpretation of a proposed agricultural building. Why did I say that? That's pretty much it.
Thank you, Aubrey. Reports of town officials, supervisor, as mentioned on the agenda, we have hired Patrick Hudson, fire marshal for our building department. He is also totally code compliant. And Nathan Talley will be a laborer for the Parks Department. And there's another resolution tonight to hire an individual for water and sewer. Just on myself, Association Town School, I attended 2 of the 2.5 days in Corning with the board members, Aubrey and Matt. And there were at least 5 other Ontario County towns that had representatives there at the Association of Town School. It's done every even year for newly elected representatives, but I try and go because you always pick up stuff that you forgot or you pick up something new. On the finance side, the town 2025 books have been closed. All financial reports have been sent to the town board. Our accountant, Janine, is now entering the January 2026 financial data. We can hopefully a few days into February, we can close out the month of January. Ontario County, the Board of Supervisors voted to go with monthly meetings instead of every 3 weeks. My committee meetings now will be, or the overall committee meetings will be on Monday and Wednesdays for the second week of the month, followed by the Board of Supervisors meeting on the 3rd Thursday of the month. I still chair the Government Operations and Insurance Committee, which meets on Wednesday. And I'm also a member of the Ways and Means Committee that meets on Wednesday. I have 2 additional assignments. I'm a member of the Ontario County Economic Development Committee, and I'm also an alternate to Chairman Wellman at the Genesee Transportation Council, which I currently chair that council. 2 other things I'd sent out to some of the staff, but for the public's notice, Indus Hospitality that owns the Microtel, the KFC, the Taco Bell, the CEO called me today, and as of last night, they closed permanently the KFC in Farmington. So he already has an idea of what they want to put at that project, so the town will see something here in the next 3 to 4 months of what they want to put in place of that store. He assured me that all the employees were given employment in one of their many other locations. So that's good that nobody's without a job. The charging stations are part of that project too, so they are still operating. I asked them about that. Victor Farmington Ambulance Corps, the Board of Directors are actually meeting tonight to give approval for the Farmington Station 8 and 96 to, once they get the approval, hopefully they'll start the interior construction, and they want to be done by the end of July. That's all I have. Town Clerk. Highway and Parks first, excuse me.
Good evening. I would just like to say to everybody to continue to drive safe and drive with caution. With the cold, bitter cold temperatures that we have, the salt works at a far reduced rate during the day and even less when the sun goes down. So the salt application is, it does not work as proper. Drive with caution. We are actively out taking care of sidewalks. We had one out yesterday, and today there were 3 machines out doing sidewalks, and in 6 hours, we got from the shop down Colette, and that's it. We didn't even make it on Mertensia. That's how thick the snow was, and it's bogging down the equipment. It takes a while to get through everything. Continue to bear with us. If you can shovel off in front of your house, it may be beneficial to do so, but we are on the way out to take care of it. Thank you. That is all.
What are the salt mine telling you for deliveries?
It is a delay of a few days. So instead of 3 to 4, we're looking at around 6 days for delivery, and about 150 ton a day is what they'll bring each day until your order is fulfilled, and then you go back down to the bottom of the list. So I ordered a pretty big order, much larger than we typically do. We typically order around 300 ton at a time. So I have 800 on order right now. So that way they will bring it up to continue to meet our needs.
Okay, good, thank you. Madam Clerk?
Well, we're winding down, for taxes without interest. We're still waiting for all the banks to come in. I've officiated 5 weddings this month alone. It's been busy there. And we're also still collecting water and sewer. So busy month for us.
Thank you. I did see you had a wedding today, right?
Yes,
Yesterday, was it? Aaron Sewer, Aaron.
Yeah, as Matt mentioned, we've had a number of water main breaks since our last meeting. We had another one this morning that interrupted our public works meeting on Buckskin Drive. And then also, in addition to the water main breaks, we were out on Saturday to replace a frozen water meter on North Road. We are hauling in some additional stone to replenish our depleted stockpiles from all the water main breaks. We sat through a presentation on a module for our billing software that'll potentially allow us to engage with our residents a little bit better. Wanted to look at this kind of in relation to the big boil water notice that we had a few months back. I think this might represent a better way for us to get notification to the residents faster and more accurately than we were able to when we had that instance. We've been interviewing some potential employee candidates. As Peter mentioned, we have one on for a resolution to hire tonight. Today, we were working with the engineers for the Wood Drive Bridge replacement project. There's a new round of Department of Health comments that have come up, so we were helping them get those cleared up and addressed. Brickyard Tank, not a lot of work going on up there. The contractors have been working on punch list items, which are basically just fit and finish type of items. And then we're still waiting till spring to finish up our site restoration and asphalt and concrete items there. And lastly, we had a meeting with our engineers regarding our GIS system. This is where we house a lot of information about our water and sewer system. There were some tweaks and improvements we'd like to see there to make it work a little bit better for our staff. That's all.
All right, thank you. Building and zoning, Caden.
So we've been pretty busy reviewing houses. They're still going in even with the brutal cold. I have some 2025 numbers. So last year we completed 2,825 inspections, 60 fire inspections, and there was 1,258 permits issued last year. Pretty good amount of permits. Generally on average, we're about 900 to 1,000. So building is up.
Thank you. Planning board, Ed.
certainly our next meeting is February fourth, and we have 5 items on the agenda. Public meeting action items, we have 2 for the, paying properties for final 2-lot subdivisions. We have 3 items that we're looking at for, acceptability to move forward. The, Farmington Volunteer Fire Association, both their preliminary site plan and their special use permit, as well as the Hollander design, application for a preliminary site plan on County Road 8. So we'll look at them, see if they're ready to go, and we'll set the public hearing to move forward.
All right, thank you. Ron, Director of Development Planning.
Okay, just a little addition to Aubrey's report on the public infrastructure grant application. I learned today that the sewer line out there on 96 between Beaver Creek and the town line is over 60 years old. It's been in for some time in bedrock. The other things of importance, this Friday, the Ontario County Access Management Study gets underway. I've been asked to sit on that advisory committee. Interesting to see where the county is going to go with their access management guidelines and how it affects the guidelines that we've been using here in Farmington for the past 15 years on access management on county roads. Rochester Home Builders is having their annual meeting this Thursday and plan on attending to understand where they want to go with 2026. McDonald's has decided that they are going to submit plans for a reconstructed McDonald's restaurant there on 96. Their thinking is that they're not going to start construction right away. By the time they get approvals, right now it's a 2029 project on McDonald's scheduled for replacement. By the time they get approvals, it'll be late 2026 and be pretty close. Maybe they can move it up on their agenda. Just for the public's information, the tear down will move the drive-through from the west side of the building to the east side of the building and increase the size of the restaurant facility. There's nothing new on the Powerhouse Technology Solar Project here on Route 96. They did come to the town back in December, trying to avoid making improvements to their access road, which the fire department told them wasn't going to work for their trucks. And they were encouraged to try to find alternate access from other properties. So we'll see where that goes. And one of the other things that happened this Monday, I guess it was.
Monday.
Monday.
Yep.
Was this guy here issued building permits for the Victor Farmington Ambulance Corps. So that's underway. Good news, finally, after months of BEC approval of that little ditch. That's it.
Great, thanks, Ron. Town engineer has been excused tonight. No assessor, no historian, no recreation, no agriculture advisory committee, and I already gave you my comments on the finance side of stuff. Communications are on file, reports and minutes are on file. We'll go right to the resolution. First resolution authorizing adoption of the town board of the town of Farmington, local law number 1 of 2026, entitled law to override the tax levy limit establishment and general municipal law 3C. And this also requires a roll call vote. Motion by Nate, second by Ron. Any questions there? Roll call vote.
Supervisor Engelsby.
Aye.
Councilman Gonfoyle.
Aye.
Councilman Herendeen.
Aye.
Councilman Bowerman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Lamparella. Aye.
All right, that passes. Thank you. Here's a resolution authorizing the adoption of a budget for the fiscal year 2027 on behalf of the special districts and or fire protection districts set forth in our schedule attached to the resolution, made part of the requirement for the real property tax levy in excess of any amount otherwise prescribed in general municipal law. And this also requires a roll call vote.
Second.
Motion in a second. Any questions? All in favor? Or not, excuse me, I'll have the clerk do a roll call vote on this also.
Supervisor Engelsby.
Aye.
Councilman Guilfoyle.
Aye.
Councilman Herendeen.
Aye.
Councilman Bowerman.
Aye.
Councilman Lafarella. Aye.
All right, motion passed. Thank you. That includes our lighting districts, our sidewalk district, as mentioned, the farming protection district, water district. Three, resolution authorizing the waiving of all permit and application fees for the Farmington Volunteer Fire Department Association Station Number 2 for their renovation and expansion project.
Second.
Second, Matt, any questions there? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Or resolution waiving the Mertensia Lodge reservation fees for the Kiwanis Club of Farmington Victor All-Stars Relay for the Life Bunko Tournament fundraiser on April 25th.
So moved.
Matt, second by Nate. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Also, resolution waiving the Mertensia Lodge fees for Kiwanis Club of Farmington Victor. Even to be honoring the Ontario County Sheriff's Deputy and New York State Trooper and a fireman from each of our fire departments on August 9th, 2026.
Second.
Harvey, second by Matt.
Not yet.
Okay. Any questions on that? It's a great event. I attended it the last few times. All in favor?
Aye.
Sixth resolution authorizing acceptance of the monthly report of the supervisor for December 2025.
Second.
Motion by Ron, second by Nate. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Seven, resolution authorizing the town supervisor to sign the employee assistance program agreement for the associates employee assistance for 2026 at a cost not to exceed $1,488.
So moved.
Nat, second by Nate. Again, if you don't know, it happens to be a Farmington resident that owns the business. All in favor?
Aye.
8, resolution appointing Matthew Brown as a member of the Recreation Advisory Committee for a term from January 28, 2026 through December 31st, 2029.
Can I ask for this to be laid over? There was just a question we had on that.
No problem. Number 8, laid over. 9, resolution authorizing Matthew Thompson to enroll in an applications and wastewater treatment course for credits towards recertification at a cost not to exceed $250.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Nate, second by Ron. All in favor?
Aye.
And confirm a resolution authorizing pump station 6 drive and motor replacement at a cost not to exceed $11,677.50.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ron, second by Matt. Any questions there? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 11, resolution authorizing a budget amendment in the general fund.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Nate, second by Ron. Unfortunately, this early into the year, the tax bills, county taxes are more than we estimated in the budget because of the increase in the county budget, county taxes. All in favor?
Aye.
12, resolution authorizing the advertisement of January 20th, 2026, and the bid opening date February 5th for the annual water and sewer parts bid.
Moved.
Motion by Arby, second by Ron. We didn't do one last year, but we have in the previous years. Any questions on that? All in favor?
Aye.
13, resolution authorizing the town board to approve the closeout paperwork for the general contractor Ransco Pipeline for the Brickyard Road Tank Project.
Second.
Motion by Nate, second by Aubrey. Any questions there? All in favor? 14, resolution authorizing the town board to approve the closeout paperwork for the HVAC contractor King and King Mechanical, also for the Brick Road Yard Paint Project.
Second.
Motion by Ron, second by Matt. Any questions there? All in favor? Aye. 15, resolution authorizing the town supervisor to sign the ambulance agreement with the Victor Farmington Volunteer Ambulance Corps at a cost not to exceed $354,750.
Second.
Motion by Nate, second by Aubrey. Any questions there? All in favor?
Aye.
16, resolution authorizing the hiring of a laborer in the Parks Department effective February 1, rate $21 an hour. Moved by Ron, second by Nate. Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We still have a vacancy in the Parks Department. Okay, 17 is paying the bills, abstract 2 for 2026. General fund, $532,693.62. Highway fund, $58,411.89. Granbury Drive water line, $302.75. Granbury Road Drive, with the road portion, $302.75. County Road 8 water line, $5,925. Route 33296 water line, $153,190.19. Excuse me, $650. Water tank repair, $153,190.19. Storm drainage, $11,677.67. Fire protection district, $391,342.17. Lighting district, $2,673.12. Sewer district, $120,823.89. Water district, $86,913.17. Payroll deductions, $12,508.03. Total abstract to pay the bills, $1,377,414.25. Motion please, in a second. Motion by Nate, second by Ron. Questions, abstentions? All in favor? Aye. And also we listed the top 3 vouchers, Farmington Fire, Ransco, and MRB Group. We have some training, $100 listed. And we do have 2 resolutions, waiver of the rules. Is there any objections to waiver of the rule? Hearing none. First resolution, authorize additional organizational consulting services with John Piper of Mutual Choices at a cost not to exceed $950 a month. Motion by Nate, second by Ron. And he doesn't necessarily charge $950 a month. I think the last bill we got for November, December was less than $950 a month. Any questions there? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Second one, resolution authorizing the water and sewer superintendent to hire the water wastewater maintenance assistant effective February 1st at a rate $24 an hour.
Second.
Motion by Aubrey, second by Matt. And that's for Jacob Spence, who used to work in the water and sewer department. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you. We do have to go in executive section, but I'll ask if there's any comments or concerns online or folks in the room before we go in executive session. Okay, we're going to executive session. I'll need a motion to discuss the medical, financial, credit, or employment history of a particular person or corporation or matters leading to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, for removal of a particular person or corporation. Where's my name? Second, my right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we will not be making any decisions that require a resolution tonight. After we get done. All in favor? Aye. Yeah. Okay, and then we also on the agenda, we list the next public works, town operations and town board meeting.